I'll never understand this kid's motives, but uh,
And
he
at
sure got
first,
it
like
from
at first
somewhere.
I read that, his parents were Democrats, lifelong Democrats. But then like during the FBI, canvassing the neighborhood and talking to neighbors and stuff. And they're like, they had multiple like Trump flags, which are gone now. And they've scrubbed their son's social media.
Of
And
course
then
they
I
did.
also saw like a classmate of the kid who did the shooting, and they were like, he was bullied relentlessly. And then he started like just wearing Trump gear, and which plays into or coincides is more a appropriate term with the radicalization of young white males. And you know, I don't know what his motive was. I don't know what pushed him to do it. Like I have my own, sorry, I have my own, you know,
Yeah, we can theorize about it all we want to.
yeah, I have
We
my
won't
own
know.
personal theories about it.
Yeah, and
But
to be fair, like anyone who's suggesting that they know the motivation of the shooter like, at this point is lying, or they're like me, they're having fun on the internet. We just won't know until the FBI completes their investigation. But
yeah.
alluding to what you were saying about the family being ardent Trump supporters, I do have a video that provides a little bit more context for that.
Oh, I want to see.
Investigators dressed in plain clothes as well as FBI agents approach this house. That's where the family of Thomas Crooks lives, which is right here on Milford Drive. Then we started to see those agents going door to door, canvassing the neighborhood and speaking with people who live here. They're trying to get answers to the many questions that still remain. Crooks's motive is still unclear. Records show he is a registered Republican, and neighbors today told us that they've actually seen Trump signs outside of the home over the course of the last few years.
So, a couple of things, notably, clearly a Trump supporter, or at least the family was to some degree. The child, kid, I don't know why I'm calling him kid. If it was like a black person, they could be 12-year-old, and the media would be referring to him as like a
That's
grown
true.
man and trying to give him the
But
death
I
penalty.
have grace.
Fair enough.
I give some grace.
The 20-year-old registered Republican, I think his last or his most recent outing to the polls was in the 2022 midterms.
Yeah.
Like whatever narrative there was initially about the shooting being the result of like some kind of, I don't know, like trying to blame Democrats inciting this to violence. I mean, that narrative falls flat, given that it's a Trump supporter in all likelihood, and at least a registered Republican. Um, like throw that out of the window. That's totally absurd. Also, one of the things that was interesting about some of the reporting on the family is that the Trump campaign in 2016 had identified the shooter's dad as a gun owner and likely avid hunter. So the campaign, generally uses kind of their secret sauce to target political ads and political content, these people that they believe to be Republican voters. And we've got a video that kind of um, delves into that whole process.
Let's see that video. See, I've chimed
Channel
in.
4 News
Everyone knows.
Thanks.
can reveal that Thomas Crooks's father, the owner of the rifle that was used to shoot at Donald Trump, was held on a database and profiled by the former president's election campaign and identified by them as a strong Republican supporter, gun owner, and hunter. The information was compiled as part of a secret Republican project to gather data on millions of gun owners across America and use it to target pro-gun messages in the run-up to the 2016 election.
And here's why they did it. The city of Pittsburgh is a key battleground in the critical swing state of Pennsylvania.
So voters here are always heavily profiled and targeted by political parties, like the Trump campaign in 2016, which held voters' details on a database, including, as we've discovered, the shooter's family, Matthew Crooks and his wife Mary, who lived here at 2506 Milford Drive in Bethel Park. We know they
Needed to share his address. So
Right? That's exactly
my
what I
bad.
was thinking too.
That was
I'm like,
unfortunate. My apologies.
okay.
Not trying to like dox the guy, have people show up at his house. I mean, you know, even though he's no longer with us, but his parents still
Just here, go back. Beep.
there. So a couple of noteworthy takeaways there. We should probably the media in general should probably spend more time talking about how the Trump campaign for years has been hyper targeting gun owners and feeding them absolutely insane mis and disinformation, all kinds of propaganda to warp these people's brains, and how, like, stochastic terrorism, it's not a scalpel, it's lighting a fuse, right? You can't target stochastic terrorism, even if you micro target these ads to pro gun rights guys. You can't predict how their behavior will play out in the future. And so you've likely been bombarding this dude's household with this crazy shit, doing who knows what to this family. And then 8 years later, out of nowhere, he shows up at a Trump rally with an AR-15 and tries to put a bullet in Trump, even though he's a Republican. And
He wouldn't be the first Republican either to dislike Trump or want to put a bullet in him, would he?
No, there's been numerous assassinations of high-profile people who were at least at one time supporters or fans of theirs. So this isn't new in that regard.
Yeah, I know. I mean, specifically Trump. He wouldn't be
in all fairness, Trump did
Republicans
steal from a charity for kids with cancer and those veterans. He's also stiffed contractors here, there, and everywhere. I am just
and he's a sexual assaulter.
This long.
And he's in pictures with a or extraordinarily prominent pedophile.
Yeah, and while I agree with you, that's another reason. And while I agree with you, Ty, I totally had a point, and I remember what it is.
Okay.
By all means.
I'm saying I think he has plenty of enemies within the Republican Party, and a lot of people within the party would strongly benefit from getting him out of the picture. You were mentioning one earlier, D. I don't know if you wanted to pull up that video.
Who was we talk about then, yo?
The guy, Alex Jones.
Oh, so yes.
Oh, yes.
While the internet was ablaze with conjecture about the possibility of this being an attack staged by Donald Trump on Donald Trump to score political points, and people were saying that was absolutely ridiculous, we actually have a video clip of Alex Jones and a guest on his show suggesting that very scenario just 6 months ago, which sounds insane, and then you actually hear the fucking
is insane.
Well, and let's not forget, it was just like maybe a month ago that Marjorie Taylor Greene said they're going to try to assassinate President Trump.
I mean, in all fairness, just like 1 week ago, Alex Jones was hosting a Twitter Spaces, and the title of it was "Assassinate Biden," in case you were wondering at what levels of possibility of this being staged we're at. But I'll play the clip.
And this is a message directly to every single person on the deep state target list. My assessment, Ivan Raiklin's assessment, that if you assassinate any political presidential candidate, whether it's RFK, whether it's Trump, guess what? America will do the following immediately. They will respond in kind, and they know who you are because we've created the list. So if you
and that's a major Rubicon, they should know that
immediately. You're going to see immediate response, and there are only a few buildings in Washington, D.C. that they will probably do that.
Well, I hope that's not the case, but these people are crazy.
And having said that, if they do that, option 2 behind Trump is going to be so much better for us and so much worse.
Well, I was about
for
to
them.
say, if they kill him, that's best case scenario from a sick level. From a sick level beating him, oh, please kill him, which but it's so good after that.
Oh, it's going to be the best cleansing and the fastest cleansing that we've ever seen in my lifetime. I assess with almost certainty, with the highest level of confidence, that if they assassinate Trump, it is so game over for them, and it's going to be so fast.
Yeah, there you go. Please kill him. That was a quote from
Literally, that is what he fucking said.
Yeah, so the idea that this sounds like it was staged sounds absurd, and then you hear Alex Jones actually suggesting a scenario that almost played out in front of our very eyes. It sounds a lot less crazy. Now, again, I'm not saying this was staged by Republicans or somehow orchestrated by Trump. Just saying that, like, if you were wondering why so many people appear to be willing to say, or at least converse over the possibility that it might be a false flag. Well, there you go. They've done it to themselves. Like they've literally put the idea out there themselves.